Perfect. Thank you for joining me this morning for Take Command O2. I'm going to get started with Smart Plans. Smart Plans are what we traditionally call drip campaigns, where you can set contacts up to receive emails, text messages, um, without having to manually do the work. The system will automatically send out those messages on your behalf. This is a great tool to use as a part of your 36 touch. It shouldn't be the only tool that you use for your 36 touch, but it's definitely a major way to stay in contact and provide updated real estate information for your contacts. So to get started with Smart Plans, come over on the left-hand side to the fourth icon down, and when you roll your mouse over, it says Smart Plans. So click on that, and that will take you into the Smart Plans applet. So this is going to be your Smart Plans home screen here, and you can see at the top we have My Smart Plans and then Library. And the library we're going to walk through in just a minute is actually all of the currently available pre-made Smart Plans for you. And then here we have People Plans, and that's going to show all the plans that I currently have set up now. Now I have a bunch here, but that's because I've made all these in various trainings. But this will show you all the active Smart Plans that you have at the moment. And then to the right of that, it says Published. So if you create a Smart Plan, you can publish it and share that with the other agents across the entire Keller Williams company. And the plan is that you will be able to sell them. So if, let's say you had a Smart Plan that you love for, your Facebook lead gen follow-up, you could sell that to other agents, and that could be another income source for you. So what I want to do is I want to walk through the library of Smart Plans. So that way I can share with you what each one of them is and the various relationships and ways that you could use them for your business. And then once we walk through all of those, I'll show you how you can edit those Smart Plans, and then we can create your own Smart Plan. So I'm going to click on Library here. And this is going to pull up all the Smart Plans that we have available to us. So down here, well, let me first get started because this has recently been updated. Keller Williams has 10 Smart Plans that they have created for us on our behalf. These ones at the top, you can see Keller Williams as the author, excuse me. Recently, as I mentioned, they've allowed us to share or sell Smart Plans with other agents. And these are down below in the top rated. And you can see here, each one of those authors that we have. So Marty Miller, check out his Smart Plans. They are really great. He does a lot of great training videos. So definitely want to check those out. But I do want to walk through the 10. Did my mouse just die? Okay, sorry. Want to walk through the 10 Keller Williams offered Smart Plans. So the first is the biweekly neighborhood nurture. And this is an email that'll get sent out every 2 weeks to your database or to whoever you add to this Smart Plan with updated information on what's going on in the real estate market in their specific neighborhood. So when you're going through your contacts and you're adding in their addresses or you're assigning them neighborhoods, the system will then know that's where they live or that's the neighborhood that they're interested in living, and it will send them the most updated listings, pendings, closings, average cost per square foot, all that information. This is really going to be beneficial if you know someone that is looking to buy or sell probably in the next 1 to 3 months. So this would just give them that information, know exactly what's going on, and help them maybe find that right time that works well for them to finally list their house or buy their home. And if you want to see the steps in the Smart Plan, click on View Steps. And this will show you that the Smart Plan lasts 15 days. It's 3 steps and it's one touch. So on day 1, it'll send out an HTML email, and this is going to be automated, so you don't have to do anything to it, based on the neighborhood information that you've assigned to them. It'll wait 2 weeks, and then it will repeat the smart plan. So it'll resend an updated HTML email. And if you want to add the smart plan to your library so you can start adding contacts to it, click Add Smart Plan. The next is the quarterly call plan. And this is a plan that will set up reminders for you to call your contacts once a quarter. We should be calling and connecting with our database at least once a quarter. And this plan takes out the guesswork of who you need to call on which days. So it's really simple. You can click on View Steps and you see Make Phone Call, wait 90 days, and then repeat the smart plan. So you'd make another phone call. And one thing that's really interesting is you may be asking yourself, well, if I add my entire database, isn't it just going to remind me to call everybody on the same day every 90 days? No, because smart plans have the ability to only add a certain number of contacts per day. So when you go to add your entire database to the quarterly call plan, you can set the system to only add up to 10 contacts per day. So then every day you'll get a reminder for which 10 contacts you need to call on that day. So you're not calling 500 people all on the same day. The next smart plan is the long-term nurture. And this is for contacts that are looking to buy or sell, but are probably waiting 6 to 8 months. You may have met them at a party or they're a friend, but you want to make sure that you're staying in contact with them with regular check-ins, but you know it's not going to be right away, so you don't want to harass them and irritate them. For the steps of this campaign, you would add them to the smart plan, and that would link them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. And similar to the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, we have a monthly neighborhood nurture, which sends out the same information, but just once a month. Then it'll have you wait 10 days. And then the system is gonna have you call that contact just to touch base with them, see if they got the monthly neighborhood nurture, if there's any questions. Wait 10 more days. Then it's going to have you send a value email to that contact as a part of the long-term nurture plan. Then it's gonna have you wait 10 days, and then it's going to have you send an automated or manual text message. Now, when you scroll over this step, you can see there are 6 different text messages here. Because this smart plan will repeat itself multiple times, the first time you go through the smart plan, it'll send that first text message. The second time you go through the smart plan, it'll send the second text message, and so on and so on. So that way, that while the smart plan is repeating itself, your contact isn't getting the same text message and know that the smart plan is repeating itself. So it'll repeat itself 5 times. So like I said, this is going to be great for contacts and leads that are looking probably 6 to 8 months out, and just a great way for you to stay top of mind with them. The next smart plan is the monthly neighborhood nurture. And I just mentioned this a moment ago with the long-term nurture, or with the long-term nurture smart plan, but the monthly neighborhood nurture is going to be very similar to the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, but it's only going to be sent out once a month. And it's going to be that same information about what's going on in the real estate market in their specific neighborhood based on the address or the neighborhood that you assign to them in their contact card. The monthly neighborhood nurture is going to be the most comparable replacement to the monthly newsletter that we have in eEdge. So the idea in Command is that we have all this great technology that we can provide specialized and specific information to each contact. So rather than sending out a monthly newsletter that's, 10 best ways to clean your house for spring cleaning, or how to prepare your house for a listing, or the best renovations to get your return in the traditional monthly newsletter, we can touch them once a month and say, hey, here's what's specifically going on in your neighborhood. You should know that these 3 homes have sold, these 2 are pending, and this one is for sale, but it's overpriced because it's been on the market for 3 months. So it's that specific information that it's going to be much more relevant, and it's going to help position you as a go-to market expert for that contact. And click view steps, very simple. It sends out an email, waits 30 days, and then repeats. And again, very similar to what I was mentioning earlier with the quarterly call plan, when you set all your database up on this monthly neighborhood nurture, or whoever you set up, you can set the system up so it only adds a certain number of contacts per day, because you don't want 100 emails going out all at the same time, because then you may get 15, 20 responses, or 15 or 20 people that are have a question or want to meet with you. So just kind of, if you limit the number of people that are on each day, it'll help balance your follow-ups that you may have and questions you may have to answer. The next is the 8x8 contact engagement. And this is really when you meet a new contact and you want to start to build that relationship so you can win that agent mind share over 8 weeks with them. And so the goal of the 8x8 is for 8 touches over 8 weeks. So let's view the steps for this. So the first step is going to be to send a text message, and it already has a pre-populated text message there for you. Hi, first name, last name. It's agent first name, last name from KW. Would love to grab coffee sometime. Let me know what your schedule looks like over the next few days. Then you would wait 7 days. Then it's going to have a send a let's get coffee email. Wait 7 days. Call them. Just want to check in, see how things are going. Maybe see if they're still able to get coffee if you haven't met yet. If you have met for coffee, you can just follow up and say thanks. It was a pleasure meeting you, and maybe share any follow-up information that you have from that conversation. Wait 7 days. Send another text message, just wanting to check in. Any real estate needs I can help with. Wait 7 days. And then it's going to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So at this point, you should have either added their current home address or assigned them a neighborhood of where they would like to live. And so that way they can start getting those monthly neighborhood nurture updates. Wait 7 days. Call to see if they have any questions about the information that you shared with them, or maybe getting together. Wait 7 days. Send another text message. Wait 7 days. And then send an about our team email, and just letting them know what they can expect when they work with you and your team and your network of list of lenders, closing attorneys, inspectors, what they can expect to work with you. So one thing I want to point out here is that this is a great way for you to start building that relationship. It lasts for 56 days, so it's at 8 weeks. And this is really what's going to help separate you from other agents when you meet a new contact. So if you're at a park, well, I don't know how many parties you're going to nowadays, but when you meet someone new that may be interested in real estate, and it's going to hold you accountable, and it's really simple. There are some days that you'll get a reminder and say, oh, I need to send this quick email. And then other days, the text message is going to send automatically. You don't have to worry about it. Perfect. The next smart plan is the midterm nurture, and this is going to be very similar to the long-term nurture, but where the long-term nurture is for clients looking 6 to 8 months out, the midterm nurture is really going to be people looking maybe 3 to 6 months. So they're still not ready to buy or sell right away, but they are interested in real estate, and so you want to stay in touch with them, so that way when they are ready to buy or sell, they think of you first. So for the midterm neighborhood nurture, I'm going to view the steps, and I'll start by adding them to the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. And the reason you want to add them to the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture is because knowing that they're looking to buy or sell in the next couple months, having them receive that information every 2 weeks would probably be more beneficial, since they're going to be looking to make a decision really soon. So they're going to want to stay up to date with what's going on in the real estate market. Going to wait 2 weeks, give them a call, see if they have any questions, anything you can help them with. Wait 2 more weeks, send a text message. And then again, here we have 3 different text messages because the smart plan will repeat itself 2 more times. So again, just a great way to stay in contact with someone that you have a relationship with that is looking to buy or sell in the next couple weeks, or sorry, next couple months. The next is the birthday smart plan. Birthdays are one of the easiest touches that you can have for your database, but also has such a big impact. People love when they are recognized and celebrated. So there is a smart plan in command for that. Now, in eEdge, we did have a drip campaign for birthdays. And on the day of the birthday, they would get an email with an image that said happy birthday. This smart plan is much more than just that. This smart plan is really going to separate you from everyone else that's going to wish them a happy birthday, because it's really going to show how much you care and how much you are interested in this person. So I'm going to view the steps. So you have to have their birthday added to their contact card, but once you do, a week before their birthday, it'll send a reminder, set a task for you to send a handwritten note wishing them to send a handwritten note wishing them happy birthday. Then you'll wait 4 days. Then it will remind you to call them and say, happy birthday in advance. What are your plans? Do you do anything fun? How many people are going to call them before their birthday to wish them a happy birthday? Probably no one. Then you're going to wait a day. Then on the actual day of their birthday, you're going to post to their social media accounts. And then you're also going to send a happy birthday text messages. So that's 4 touches that you have with this person, because they're going to receive that mail news, that mail in-mail letter or card. You're going to talk to them on the phone. You're going to post on their social media, and you're going to send them a text message. That's really going to show how much you're thinking about them and how much you care. And that's going to separate you from all the other agents that are going to be reaching out to them or posting on their Facebook wall. At the moment, the way that the smart plan system is set up, you're unable to create your own smart plan based on an event. So if you want to use the birthday smart plan, you have to use this one. Otherwise, you won't be able to have a smart plan or create a smart plan that it revolves around their birthday in the same way. And I'll explain a little bit about that, why that's the case in just a few minutes when we go through the system on trying to set up our own smart plan. The next is the open house follow-up smart plan. And if you're hosting open houses, and I hope that you are, especially, split safely, open houses are a great way to build your business, but you have to know how to build that relationship and take that conversation that you had with a potential buyer at an open house and develop that client relationship with them. So to do that, the open house smart plan is a great tool to use. So basically this is going to simplify the follow-up plan for you after you meet someone at an open house. So to view these steps, one thing I would recommend too before I go through the steps is to set up your open house smart plan before you actually go to the open house. So then while you're there and after someone comes and goes from the open house, you can immediately add them to that smart plan. Because the first step is going to be to send them a text message and say, thanks for coming by. What do you think of the open house? So you can send this in maybe an hour or so afterwards. But if you don't want to wait till you get home from the open house and then have to set it up and update all the information, that's why if you set it up beforehand, it'd be really easy for you to start adding contacts almost immediately. Then there'll be a 1-day delay. Then you'll have a task to send a nice to meet you at the open house email to the contact and ask them if they have any questions or if they need anything. You'll wait 2 days, give them a call to see if they're interested in any upcoming open houses. Wait 3 days, then I'll send a text message saying, I have a few open houses coming up that I think you would be interested in. Would you like me to send you a list? Wait 4 days, give them a call to see if they're interested in any of those open houses. Wait 3 days, send them another text message. How are you doing? Wanted to check in to see if you're available. I had a showing appointment cancel. Wait 4 days, send, are you still home shopping email, assuming that you haven't heard from them. Now, if you have, built a relationship, then you don't have to send this email. Wait 3 days, and then it's going to automatically add them to the long-term nurture. And that's going to be the plan for people looking 6 to 8 months out. So you can see if you go ahead and add people to the smart plan after the open house, like as soon as they leave, it'll be really easy. You don't have to think about it. So then when you leave the open house, you've already added all of those contacts into your database. You've added them to the smart plan, and your open house is still fresh in their mind. So when you ask them, what do they think about it? They can provide some real actual feedback. So again, I recommend that you set this up before you go. And once you set this up once, because you can go through here if you wanted to and adjust some of the language, some of the copy, if you'd like. Once you make it your own, then you can just copy this for every single open house that you have and just update some of the information based on the property address. So I'm going to click next to go to the next two. And that is going to be the home anniversary. So very similar to the birthday smart plan. If you have a past client and they have home anniversary, this smart plan will help you continue that relationship with that past client. I'm going to view the steps. The first, well, one thing to keep in mind here is similar to the birthday plan, this will be the other smart plan that will launch based on a date. So everything will be days out from that specific home anniversary. Again, at the moment, you're unable to create a smart plan based on an event. So if you want to use the home anniversary smart plan, then you have to use the one that's already pre-made for you. So the first one will be to send a gift or a card to your client. So it's going to remind you a week out, so that way you have plenty of time to go to the store, write your card, and put it in the mail. Then it's going to wait 6 days, and it's going to have you call them to wish them a happy home anniversary. So just another great way to make sure that you're thinking of your past clients and really continuing that relationship, and hopefully getting some referrals so they know how much that you care about them. And then the last pre-made Keller Williams smart plan is the Promote My App. So in February at Family Reunion, they launched a new Keller Williams consumer app, which allows consumers to search for homes anywhere in the country, and it all connects back to your command, so it has that seamless integration. So it allows you as their agent to stay in the know of what they're looking for, so you can better provide them with the listings that they may be interested in and the services that they're looking for. So if you want to promote your app and get people to download it, you can use this smart plan. So for the steps, it'll first send out an HTML email. It'll be automated. You won't be able to edit it. It'll wait 1 day, and then it'll have you send out a text message. And then this is going to say, hey, did you see that a neighbor listed a home in your area? Download my new KW app to check it out. Now you can update that text because there may or may not be a home for sale in that client's neighborhood, and you don't want to lie. So you could easily update this copy if you wanted to be something more relevant. Wait 3 days, and then it's going to send another text message. Did you know that you can see all the cumulative stats about your neighborhood in my new app? Let me know what you think, and then it includes a link to your app. So this is just a great way to get your app in the hands of consumers and remind them. So those are the 10 KW made smart plans. Now, I recommend that you go through here on the bottom and check out some of the top rated ones. There are a ton in here, and they could be really beneficial for your business. Like here, this monthly neighborhood nurture, I haven't looked at this because this has just recently been updated, but this, what I would believe, view steps, would send an email that's going to introduce adding them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So I want to tell you about a new feature that's called Neighborhood Snaps. Since we partner with social network next door, we're able to provide local insights in your neighborhood. So this would prime your contacts so that way when they started receiving these emails about their neighborhood, they don't look like spam. They're like, oh, here I'm going to get these new updates from Nick on my neighborhood. And then so they'd get this email, it would wait one day, and then it would add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So it's just a great tool. You could use this as well. A new Facebook lead follow-up. So I know that there's been a lot of conversations, especially the last couple of weeks, about how you can leverage Lead Accelerator. Well, once you get those leads in your system in command from Facebook, how can you best continue that relationship with them? You can create your own custom smart plan, which we're going to today. But this new Facebook lead follow-up, this may be a good fit for you. It may have all the information that you want, and you can go and tailor it for yourself. So spend a few minutes when you have some time to go through these different smart plans that have been created by other agents. So I want to walk you through once you have added a smart plan. So if I'll click Add Smart Plan, Monthly Neighborhood Nurture, I'm going to give it today's date, just so I can help keep track of it. Oh, I already have it added to my library, so it won't let me add it again. So if you want to add the smart plan, just click on Add here. And then we'll go back to My Smart Plans, and this is going to show us all the smart plans that we have access to. So you can see down here, I have my monthly neighborhood nurture. I have one contact on it, which should just be myself, I believe. Yep, that I've added there. And then let's see, I do not have the open house one. So I'm gonna go back to library because I wanna add the open house follow-up smart plan because I wanna walk you through what it's like to make those edits. So I'm gonna click Add Smart Plan. This is a bundled smart plan and it contains multiple, download all the contents to get started. Perfect, so click download. And now I'll click download. So it has now added it to my smart plan. So I'll come back over to my smart plans. And you can see here, my open house follow-up. And now what I wanna do is I'm gonna wanna make this specific for an open house that I'm having. So I'm gonna come over to the right-hand side and I'm gonna click on the pencil button, that's edit. And anytime you see a pencil button in command, that lets you know that you can edit. So I'll click on edit. And it is going to take me into the smart plan editor. And so I can start to adjust some of the copy. So you can see here, I have this text message and I have Twilio set up. So Twilio is the text messaging mass text platform that Command uses to automatically send out text messages. It does cost money. It's 0.0075 cents per text message, up to 160 characters. Then the way that it works is it bills you $20 and it puts that $20 into a kind of a bank for you, a reserve. And then as you send text messages, it will deduct that from your balance. And then once you get below $10, it will send, or it'll bill you $20 more. So it is relatively pretty cheap. Oh, another thing to keep in mind that's pretty important is that it doesn't use your current cell phone number. When you sign up, you'll get automatically assigned an Austin, Texas number, but for $1 a month, you can rent an Atlanta area code. And I remember a couple months ago, Michael Bunch was talking about how he was leveraging text messages with his business. And he had a couple people ask him, hey, what is this phone number? You know, I already have you in my phone. And he just said, oh, this is one of my business numbers. And since we all own our own businesses as realtors, it would make sense that we would have more than one phone number. So I would recommend, if you haven't set up Twilio, I would recommend that you do it. And I'm happy to help. We can set up some time to walk through that together if you'd like. So when you first add the open house smart plan, the first text message will say, hi, contact first name. And this is a merge field. And merge fields are a way that the system can personalize a message without having to manually text each individual separately. So it'll automatically add in that contact's first name based on what you have in command. So, hey, contact first name, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? But for me, this is kind of vague. So what I would want to do is I would want to say, thanks for coming by the open house this afternoon. Let's just do this, the open house at 1903 Cannon Street in Decatur. What did you think of the house? And I would do, thank you, Nicholas Core, because you'd want to add your name here because they're not going to have your number. So if you want to include your name, that way they know exactly who's sending this text message. Now you can see I'm able to make this quick edit. So that way they know exactly what house they stopped by, and I ask them a simple question. Then we'll want to wait 1 day. Then there's going to be a task to send a nice to meet you at the open house email. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually set this to be an email, but I would recommend that you leave it as a task, so that way you can personalize it and make any updates based on a potential text message or conversation you've had with them. The next is to wait 2 days, and then it's going to have you make a call, and it's going to say, call open house lead to see if they're interested in any upcoming houses or as a part of the open house follow-up smart plan. Wait 1 day, and then we can send another text message. I have a few open houses coming up that I think you'd be interested in. Would you like me to send you a list? And again, you could update any of that verbiage there that you'd like. And I'd recommend adding your name. Thank you, Nicholas Core. And then over here in the bottom right-hand corner, does keep account of your total of all of your characters, and this is 167 out of 480. So it probably will send as 2 different text messages, and I will be billed as 2 text messages. Oh, and then here, this is new, but it says do not text the number or any do not call text list. Agents who violate the National Do Not Call Text Registry and the Telephone Consumer Protection Act may be sued and face potentially catastrophic legal damages. Check the National Registry and all local registries before you text. So Command and Twilio do not manage a do not call list. So if someone is on the do not call list, it is your responsibility to make sure that you do not call or text message them. Now, if someone gives you their phone number from an open house, it would be my expectation that they would know that you're going to reach out to them. The next will be set a delay, and then it's going to have a reminder for you to call them again to see if you're interested in any upcoming open houses. Then wait another 3 days and then send another text message. Want to see if you're available tomorrow. I had a showing appointment canceled, so I have an opening in my schedule. So it's a pretty vague text message, but hopefully one that shows that you're there to work with them and you'd want to meet to show them some houses. Then you can scroll down and create a task. Are you still home shopping email? Set a delay, and then it's going to add to the My Long-Term Nurture. Now, you can see I didn't make a ton of changes here, but I just went through and I was able to make some small edits, especially up here to that first text message where I was able to include the address of the home. So I would probably want to rename this My Open House Follow-Up. Let me edit the name of this. Follow-up, and I'm going to do 1903 Cannon Street. And click the check mark to save it, and then I can click Save. So now I've saved it, so anytime I add someone to the smart plan, they're going to get this specific text messages about 1903. I can add someone to the smart plan right here by clicking the icon of the person with the plus sign, and I could search by name. So I could, just search by name and add someone here. I can also search by tags. So if you were to create a tag for everyone that came to your open house, you can just quickly go through here, select that tag, and then select everyone that's with that tag. So you can do that right here from within the SmartPlans applet. So now that I saved it, I'm going to go back. And here it's going to show the list of all my SmartPlans. I'm going to give it a quick refresh so it should show my open house SmartPlan 1903 Cannon Street. Now, let's say I host another open house at another listing. I can come over here to the three dots and I can click copy, and I can rename this I'll rename this 3353 or 54 Dunn Street, and I can click apply. And now it's copied my SmartPlan, so I can just come back in here and I can click edit. So this is how I was saying that you'd want to set this up before you go on your open house. You can easily click edit here. And now I'm able to update this text here, 3354 Dunn Street Southeast in Smyrna. What did you think of the home? And just scroll through and double check to make sure that there's not any listing specific information here. Pretty simple. So let's do a double check. Awesome. So now that that's done, I misspelled Smyrna, so we want to fix that. I can click save. And it was that simple that I could now have a whole new SmartPlan ready for the open house that I'm going to have at this listing. So once you go through and you make your personalizations, you can easily just copy them, so you don't have to redo it every single time, and then just make the adjustments based on the property of the open house. Any questions about these SmartPlans, the MyKW SmartPlans, editing one and copying it? Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to walk through creating your own SmartPlan, which is a really interesting tool that we have in Command, because everyone has their own unique style and their own unique way that they want to interact with clients and leads. So you can make your own SmartPlans. So to do that, on the top right-hand corner, you can click Create. And we'll give this a name. So I'm going to name this TC02 September 1, 2020. Just so I know that it is a training SmartPlan. So I'll click Apply. And now it's going to put us into the SmartPlan editor. You can see over here in the top left-hand corner, we have the name. And then in the middle here, it has the number of days, the total number of steps, and total touches. This will update as we start to add steps to the SmartPlan. And the reason is because there are some limitations on the total number of steps and touches that a single SmartPlan can have. So right here, you'll see at the top, we have this blue bar that says trigger manually. At the moment, we have to manually add contacts to a SmartPlan. It is in the pipeline that in the future, if we add a contact to our database, let's say with a specific tag, it'll automatically add them to a SmartPlan. Or if a lead comes in from Facebook, it can automatically add them to a SmartPlan. Labs wants to make sure that agents are really comfortable and familiar with creating SmartPlans before they release that level of technology. So over here on the right-hand side, you can see we have 7 different types of actions that we can take for each step of the SmartPlan. But before we go through these, I want to go through and read the tips and rules for building a SmartPlan, because this will be our guidelines and explain why we make some of the choices, that we do when setting up our SmartPlan. So I'll click here. And I'm going to quickly read through each one of these, so that way as we're going through and adding the steps, it makes sense. So when you're creating a task, allows up to 7 tasks a day per smart plan. Delays must be added in between to include more. So you can add tasks of sending an email. You can add a task of sending a text message. You can add a task of adding their property address or assigning a neighborhood. It's only going to allow you to add up to 7 tasks per day because the system wants you to actually be successful. And if you have too many tasks for Smart Plan and you have numerous people on a Smart Plan, that it could take up your whole day just completing those tasks. And we know at the end of the day, we are all realtors and we need a lead gen. And this is supposed to help your lead gen, not weigh you down. The next is send SMS, MMS, and this requires at least 1 day delay between scheduled text messages. The same thing with emails. We have to have at least a 1 day delay between emails. And the reason is our smart plans are meant to automate, but they always are to come from a place of contribution and service. So we want to make sure that we're not pestering our leads and our database. So the system limits us to only 1 contact per day. So that way they're not getting 3 text messages back to back being like, where are you? Why haven't you responded? Are you still looking to buy or sell? Because that wouldn't be beneficial for anyone. The next is to set a delay. So as I mentioned, you're only allowed to send 1 text or email a day. So you have to set a delay in between each one of those actions. And the delay has to be at least 1 day in duration. And it requires at least 1 action between delays. Delays cannot be set back to back. So I cannot delay for 1 day and then add another delay of 3 days. And then one thing to keep in mind here is that a smart plan total duration cannot exceed 90 days. So if you want to add a delay, you can't add a delay of 90 days. It would have to be a delay, 1 step in a delay of 89 days because it can only, the smart plan cannot exceed 90 days. You can add to smart plan. So one of the steps within the smart plan you create is to automatically add them to another smart plan. And you're only allowed to do this once per smart plan. And there must be delays between the steps. And you cannot add to more than 1 canned smart plan. So I couldn't create a smart plan that then automatically add someone to my monthly neighborhood nurture, as well as the 8x8. It would only be 1 smart plan. Due in, so when you set up tasks for yourself as a part of this smart plan, you have to give yourself a due date for those tasks. The due date cannot exceed 2 weeks. The reason here is if you give yourself too much time to complete tasks, you're probably not going to get it done. And at which point, 2 weeks later, the task probably is no longer relevant. The conversation has changed. The interests have changed for your client. So you want to make sure that you keep your due dates pretty soon, but you also want to make sure they're manageable. Restart flow. So as we walk through some of the pre-made smart plans, they restarted a couple times, and you can restart a flow of a smart plan as long as that smart plan is at least 14 days in length, and the restart has to be added as the last action in the flow. So you can't have a smart plan and then halfway through have it restart because then it'll never actually complete. So restarting the flow must be the last step. And then per smart plan, touches cannot exceed 7 touches within 7 days, 12 touches within 30 days, and 15 total touches in a single smart plan. So again, making sure that we are not pestering, we're not harassing, and we're not inundating our leads and contacts with text messages and emails and calls. It wants to make sure that we are spreading out those touches over the 90 days. Any questions about the actions and the guidelines for setting up a smart plan before we start to build one? All right, so now I'm going to click back to actions and let's start building our smart plan. So the first step, and we can just build this as we go along, let's just send a text message. So I'll just click on text message and it'll automatically add it over here on the left-hand side. So it'll say from, and your Twilio account is connected. So I can just start typing, hey, and then I want to add in one of those merge fields because I want this text message to appear personalized. So I can click over here where you see the merge field icon, which is an F in between parentheses. And I can select contact first name. I can say, hey, contact, it's Nicholas Core with KW First Atlanta. Are you still thinking about buying a new home soon? Let me know how I can help. All right, so there's my text message. I included my name so they know exactly who I am. Our next step is going to be to set a delay because we can't have two actions back to back. So I'll set a delay. And then over here, you can select the number of days for the delay that you want. So we can wait 3 days, and then we can send an email. So I'll just click send email. And then when you click on the button over here on the right, it'll automatically add this to the left. So it's going to automatically default. This is going to be using the command email. So it'll default my reply to email here based on what I've set up before. In the subject line, anything you want. So buying a new home, question mark. And then as you scroll down, you can see email type. We have simple and HTML. Simple emails are going to be text-based email, nothing really fancy about it. We do have the option of HTML email with Mailjet, but that being said, these aren't editable templates that we have access to in SmartPlans. So I'll show you, I'll click on HTML and it'll say browse library for email template. And then you'll see here, we only have 5 templates that we have access to. And I'll show you a preview of these. So here's the work with me with seller. So all this information here would automatically populate. And then as you scroll down, you can see here's a very beautifully designed email, but we can't change anything here. And more than likely, this template isn't going to work for the smart plan that you're trying to create. And then over here, we have a happy birthday one. So you can see if you wanted to create your own happy birthday email, you could use this. But again, you can't make any edits to this. All this information with the stars will automatically populate, but you can't change any of the images or text in this within this HTML email. So I personally wouldn't recommend that you use any of these unless it makes perfect sense. So I'm going to click X here. Another benefit to just using a simple email is that simple email, text-based emails are less likely to get flagged as spam. Think of how many emails you get, email newsletters you get from every store, every agent, every political candidate that you get all the time. Check your spam box and then see how many more you have in there, because Gmail and other email providers are able to review that email, and oftentimes those HTML emails will be flagged as spam, so you won't ever actually see them. But a text-based email is much more likely to actually make it into your inbox, so where it will be seen. So it is a benefit of having a text-based email. So I'm going to click on simple here so it can take me back to my email editor. I need to add my subject again. Looking for a new house, question mark. And then I can start typing in my email here. So I can say hi. And then we have the merge fields here. So I can click contact first name. And you can just write a normal email. Are you still thinking about buying a new home? I just saw some beautiful homes come on the market, and I thought of you. Would you like me to share them with you? I don't know, you just type whatever you want. Now, one thing to keep in mind here when you use the simple email editor, you're not able to add images to this, but you can add hyperlinks. So if you click here, you can add a hyperlink. So you could link to wherever you wanted, to google.com. Now, one thing people have done that's been a workaround for, since you can't attach anything to this email, if you want someone to have access to a PDF, you could set a link here for them to download it and send a link to that file, and they could download it that way. So I'll click on add link, and now I have a hyperlink. I can add in some bullet points or numbers. So I can click areas of town. Let me come over here, parts of Atlanta. I can, then type in Brookhaven, Sandy Springs, Midtown. So you could, do that. Oh, I don't want to have any more bullets. All right, and then you can just continue. Please let me know how I can help. Thank you, Nicholas. Now, one thing to keep in mind here with the simple email is you're probably going to want to put your email signature here, but a text-based version, just so that way it looks more like a legitimate email. If you don't include it here, it'll kind of seem a little odd, but also including your signature and your contact information will make it much easier for this person to reach out to you. So I'll do Nicholas Core, Keller Williams, First Atlanta, 404-414-8238, Nicholas Core at KW, nicholascore.com. So, but I could go through, if I wanted to, I could make, change this font. I can make this bold. I can make this red if I wanted to. So you do have some editing capabilities, but it is very limited. So now we added our email. Now we want to add another step. So we're going to click on set a delay. I'll come down here and set a 3-day delay. Excuse me, 4-day delay. And then let's make a phone call. So click make a phone call, and then we'll scroll down to make a call. And I'll say due in, so we want to select this. We'll have the phone call be due in 2 days. And now we can set our task name. And one thing that you could do that would make this really easy for you is if you set the name of the task to include the person's first name, last name, and phone number, so then you don't actually have to click into that task to get all the information that you need. So when you log into Command, you can see in your home screen, oh, I have a task of calling so-and-so today. Boom, you're gonna start doing it right there. So you can start typing in your task name. So call. Now, we have these merge fields over here, which means that we can auto-populate the first name, last name, phone number. But for whatever reason, and I don't understand why, when you're creating a task name, if you put the merge fields in, it puts them in reverse order. So if I select contact first name, and then I want to do last name, and then phone number, you can see it now reads as call, phone number, last name, first name. So to fix that, when you're creating a task, just select them in reverse order. So we would do phone number, contact last name, contact first name. So now the task name reads call, first name, last name, phone number. So I don't even have to click in here, but I will want to, because I want to give a little description, and I'll say give, and I'll do the same merge fields. Now, for whatever reason, in the description, when you add a merge field, it'll put it in the correct order. So I'll do contact first name, contact last name, phone number, to see if he or she is still thinking about buying or selling, see what real estate questions you can answer. Then if you want to add a hyperlink, you could do so here. So we have our call. Now we'll come up here, we'll add another delay. And I'll set this delay to 3 days. And I'll scroll back up. Now we can create a task for ourselves. So I've now created a task. So I'll leave this due in 2 days. And then task name. Write email saying, that's it. We'll do send email with updated listings to, and then I can do contact. We'll do email, contact last name, contact first name. So now it reads, send email with updated listings to first name, last name, email. Oh, I guess we ran out of space. But all right, so I can just come down here and fill in the description, send email to, then we'll do first name, last name, email address, dated listings for the part of town he or she is interested in. Perfect. So now we have our task. So when I log into Command, it'll remind me that I need to send this email. I'm gonna scroll up to the top. I'll click set a delay. So let's do another 4-day delay. Now I want to add them to a smart plan. So let's say I've gone through all this this follow-up smart plan that I've created, but I need to add them to something else. This is run out. So I'll click add to smart plan. And if I scroll down, I can click on all of the smart plans that I have available to me in my smart plans library that I've created. So I could add them to the My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. Perfect. And then I could come up here and I could set a delay. So let's do set delay. And then send a text message right there. Any questions about the market? Let's do real estate market info I emailed over. Please let me know how I can help. Thank you, Nicholas Core. AW First Atlanta. All right, so now that I've done that, can scroll up to the top. You can see this smart plan lasts 18 days. It has 11 steps and 5 touches. And then it's going to add, add them automatically to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So then that way this contact will continue to receive that information once a month. And if you wanted to, you could add contacts right here within Command. Let me click Save and Continue. And again, you can search by name. So you can just go through and you can add all the contacts. But see here, it lets me know that this contact does not have a neighborhood attached. So that would not work very well for her because I need to have a neighborhood if she's going to be added to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So I'm going to click X there, save, and then back out over here. Just give us a second, and I'm going to give it a refresh. And now you can see here's my TCO2 September 1, 2020 smart plan that I created. I could come over here. I can add a contact here. Let's say I want to select all of these contacts. So I'm selecting 20 contacts. I can click Add to Smart Plan. Now you can see we have a couple options here. The first one is to start all now, and this will start everyone immediately. I recommend that you never select this Earlier in the year, people were having a lot of issues with their monthly neighborhood nurture when they selected the start immediately option. That for whatever reason, the system automatically removed them from the smart plan. I don't know why. I think it's been resolved, but I just recommend that you don't start now. But you can start on a following date. So you could set everyone up. I could go to, have everyone added today and they'll start receiving this information tomorrow. Or the last option is you can stagger the start over the next few days. And this is what I was mentioning to you earlier. If you're going to add a lot of people to a smart plan, it may be beneficial for you to only allow, maximum number of, maybe 10 contacts added per day. So day one, the smart plan will go to 10 people. Then the next day, it'll go to the next 10 people. And the third day, it'll go to the following 10 people. And that way it just kind of manages your workflow in terms of the emails that you'll have to send, all the tasks you'll have to complete, and follow-up work you'd have to do. So once you're good to go, you can click confirm and we'll add those people and it'll start sending them over the next 10 days. Oh, sorry, the next in groups of 10. So I'm gonna click cancel. Now I'm gonna go into contacts in just a moment. So I wanna show you how you can bulk add contacts or add contacts to a smart plan from within each contact card. But I wanna see if there are any questions about the smart plans that we have here, creating the smart plans, editing the smart plans before we jump into adding the contacts in the contact applet. All right, I will take that as a no. So the other way that you can add contacts to a smart plan is within the contacts applet. So I'm going to click into the contacts. And I'll show you the first way is if you are working with a contact individually, you can add him or her to the smart plan from within his or her contact card. So I'll go to my contact card here. So I have Nicholas Core. Right here, there's a button that says add to smart plan. So if you click on that, all of your active smart plans will pop up here and you can click select. And again, you'll be able to start now or start on the following date. So that is one way that you can add them to a smart plan. Over here in the timeline, there's a tab for smart plans and you can click on smart plans. And you can click on add to smart plan. And again, a list of all the active smart plans will pop up here. So that is two ways from within the contact card that you can add someone directly to a smart plan, or you could delete them from the smart plan right here. You can unsubscribe them. I'm going to go back to contacts. And I want to show you that you can, let's say you want to add lots of contacts to the smart plan. You can select all the contacts on the screen. And then whenever you select those contacts, this drop-down menu will appear here and it says select bulk action. From the drop-down, you can select bulk add to smart plan. Here we go, add to smart plan. So now I can select from any of the active smart plans that I have. So I can just select this one. And again, we can start now. We can start on the following day, or we can stagger the start over the next few days. So we can add just a handful of contacts per day. So that is the multiple ways that you can add contacts to a smart plan. Any questions about smart plans as a whole, adding contacts, creating smart plans, editing smart plans before we jump into reports? All right. So now I'm going to walk through reports. And reports is going to be really helpful for you as you plan and track your business. So over here on the left-hand side, when you scroll down to the reports icon, it looks like a little bar chart. Click on reports. And this will put us into the reports dashboard. So it's going to default to talking to our database health. So our database overview, and it's going to show us all this information, but it also will break down our emails that we sent, how we're tracking towards our business goals, and setting up our business goals as well. So while you're in the dashboard here, just a quick overview. It shows your database health. This score here is based on the total number of contacts that you have and the pieces of information that you have for each one of your contacts. As we talked about in TCO1, each piece of information in the contact card has a certain score. So name, email address, phone number, and home address each have a 20% score, and then every additional piece of information adds a 4% score to that health score for that contact. So you can see here, I have a 50.38 health score, and then it breaks it down by individual piece of contact information. So only 19% of my contacts have phone numbers, 66 have emails, 44 have addresses. So you can see how healthy those pieces of information are in my database. Scrolling down, you can see my activity. So I have not reached out to 99.4% of my database in the last 91 days. And then you can filter this by different types of activities, so SMS, email, calendar. And then up here, also with the database health, you can click on this compare option. And this is really interesting because you can compare to a handful of different options. So for the database health, you can compare to agents in my market center. So I can see how my database health compares to other agents in First Atlanta. I can select all agents in my state. So how does my database compare to all realtors in Georgia? All agents within KW. And then this one I think is really interesting, in agents in production bracket above mine. So as you think of your business plan and your business goals, you may think, okay, my goal is to be a live luxury agent. My goal is to work predominantly in this sales price or this neighborhood. In this neighborhood, I want to work only in luxury. So what you can do is you can compare your database health to agents in production brackets above yours, so that you know what are the pieces of information for your database that you need to go to that next level in your business. Because at the core of every real estate business is a healthy database. So this is going to help you see what you're missing. So for me, I need to work on getting phone numbers. So in the agents in production above mine, 62% of them have phone numbers, or 62% of their contacts have phone numbers compared to 19% of mine. That lets me know that I need to get those phone numbers and I need to start making those phone calls and touching my database and checking in with them. You same thing with email here, but on the flip side, I have a lot more addresses for my contacts than most agents in production above mine. So maybe for me, I've spent a lot of time gathering addresses when really what I should have been doing is getting people's phone numbers and making those calls. So it's just a great way that you can see how your database is comparing to other people. So up at the top of the reports page, we have 3 different options. We have reports, goals, and email. So I'm going to click on reports. And then here we have show, and then we have a drop down because we have 3 different types of reports. We have database reports, goals reports, and opportunities reports. So I'm going to show you the database report, which is going to be the same information that we just saw on the dashboard, but just a little bit more granular. So again, it's going to show the total database records, health score, and it'll break down all the different activities that you've done for your database, as well as the leads information over here. The next is going to show opportunities report. So this is going to show all of your active opportunities, your potential income based on the information that you include in your opportunities. So I have total 12 opportunities, 11 of them are new. Most of these are from trainings. And I'll show you based on each phase what my expected volume will be and what the average amount of time a contact stays in that phase for. You can see here, it breaks down, sorry, this the top is for listing opportunities, and then down here is for buyer opportunities. So breaking down that same information. So 9 opportunities total, and then where, in which phase currently my business is. Let me plug in. All right. So again, this is just a great way for you to keep track of your opportunities, especially if you start to see if you start to lose a lot of opportunities, or if you see if there's somewhere in the process that you're not able to take them to the next phase. If you lose them setting the appointment or after the appointment, it just kind of helps you dissect your business to figure out which areas of it you need to focus on and grow for your upcoming year. Now we have within the reports tab, we have the ability to look at goals, but I don't want to show you the goals report just yet because I want to go into the goals tab. So I'm going to click on goals here. And this is where you're going to set your business goals for the year. If you haven't set your 2020 business goals, I recommend go ahead and do that now. I know that we're in the latter part of the year, but it's never too late to set those goals, and that'll help give you something to project off of for 2021. So you can see here when you set your goals, and I'll come over here to the top right-hand corner where it says goal settings. Click on this, and this is going to walk us through a Kelly guide of setting your business goals. So I'm going to click on get started. And now, very similar to all the other Kelly guides, on the left-hand side of the page, it's going to update the information in real time as we make and input information on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, we're going to set our goals. So I'm going to set my goal. We can just do this year for 2020. What is your annual profit goal? And this, if you scroll over this information here, it says the amount of profit your business earns before taxes and after subtracting the cost of sales and operating expenses from your GCI. So if I wanted to make $125,000 in profit this year, I can cost out, I'd probably spend $15,000 in expenses and $60,000 in cost of sales. So marketing, promotion, listing photos, these are just made up numbers here. But you can look back at what you've done in the past to get an idea of what that will cost you. Then you want to do your business makeup. So what is your split between listings, buyers, and leases? The system will default to 50-50, but if you work more with one versus the other, update that accordingly here. So I can do listings, let's do 60%, and then buyers 40%. And the reason this is important, because you'll see in just a few minutes, it'll track out the number of appointments that we have to set based on these goals here. Our average commission per unit, so for listings and buyers, you can include that here. Because again, that'll affect the number of closings you need to have, which ultimately drives the number of appointments you need to set. So I'm going to click on next. Request status code 403. I don't know what that means. Let's try it again. All right. Now it's going to go into our conversion rates. So as you meet a lead and how do you work them down the funnel to becoming a closing. The system will default to all these numbers here. So leads to contacts, 5%, contacts to set appointments, 5%, appointments set to kept, 75%. So if you have your own numbers, if you're able to track that information, put your own information here. But by using at least the default numbers, that'll help the system project the total number of contacts and appointments that you need to set. So I'm just going to leave these numbers as is, and I'm going to click Save and Continue. Now it's going to give me a quick overview of what my goals are. So based on having a profit of $125,000 with $60K in expenses or $60K cost of sales and $15,000 in expenses, it's going to let me know that my annual GCI needs to be $200,000. If I scroll down, again, it's 60% listings, 40% buyers, and then my average cost per unit. So once you review the information, make sure that it's good to go, and then click What's Next. And now we finished, so I'm going to click on View My Goals. So it'll take me back into the Goals applet, or the Goals page within the reporting applet. So now that I've filled in all that information based on the amount of money that I want to make, based on how I want my business to be split between buyers and sellers, the system now lets me know I need to have 31,605 leads per year, because then just 5% of that will go to turn into contacts. And then 5% of that will turn into appointments set. And then 75% of those appointments will turn into appointments kept. So I need to have 60 appointments this year. That'll turn into 45 agreements, which will lead to 33 houses going under contract with 25 closings. And by having that number of leads to appointments to closings, based on my average GC, our average commission per closing is $8,000, 25 units is the number that I need to close this year. So you can see how the system will track all this for you. So I haven't input any leads here, so it shows that I have 0%, but I have just under 1,400 contacts, which lets me know I'm at 88% of my goal for contacts. But I need to set more appointments and keep those appointments. And then profit tracker. So it'll track how my profit is going for the year. So based on the business that I have, the business that I'm closing, how am I getting towards that $125,000 profit goal? So I can select this year, and I can select this month. How am I working for this month? Again, this is all here to help you stay on top of your business and make sure you're working towards your business goals. And then again, down here, our activities. So what are we doing? What are we spending time with? How are we how are our database interacting with this information? Our conversion rates. So from the different, from leads all the way down to closed units. And you could update this at any time. And then our GCI breakdown. So what our percent of GCI goes towards our profit, our cost of sales, and expenses. Any questions about goals here? So as you start to add your goals, you can see how all the various applets within Command start to link together. So we have our leads and our contacts here that pull into goals. And then we have this information here from appointments to closed units that's being pulled out of opportunities, as well as the listing price, the commission price, how much our commission payment. So all these different applets are working together. So that way you can keep track of your business, so you don't have to have 4 different Excel spreadsheets tracking your total number of leads to appointments down to closed units. The system does it automatically for you. So I recommend play around with this, spend a little bit of time here, because the more information you can know about your business, the more control you'll be able to have on it, and you'll be able to make effective business decisions. We are nearing the end of 2021, which is wild to say. I can't even believe it. But start to think about your goals for 2021. Start to put those pen to paper, and then start to play around in the system based on what you want your profit to be. So you know exactly the number of leads and contacts and appointments you need to have for next year. And then come meet with Brett, meet with Clark, review those goals with someone, and you can start to set up your 5-3-1 as well. So you can set up your strategies and tactics of how you're going to achieve those goals. The next tab up here is emails. So this is going to help you keep track of the total number of emails that you were sending out each month. So between your SmartPlans, any email newsletter, email blast that you create, this will let you know your total usage. So it'll show emails used, so 0 so far for September. Let me show, I'll go to August, so it should show 1. 1 email here. So it'll show the percentage of our 5,000 limit emails that we get per month. And it shows the percentages of clicked, open, replied, undelivered, unsubscribed, and marked as spam. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that you're unable to see who exactly it was undelivered to, but you can go through and you'll be able to find out who unsubscribed. And if for whatever reason 5,000 emails isn't enough for you, which it may not be, if you have a big database and you have multiple smart plans and email blasts going out, you can upgrade your plan here. Just click on upgrade and it'll take you into the KW marketplace and it'll show you the different cost options for command email. So scrolling down here, you can see for up to 10,000 emails, it costs $10 a month, and then for 20,000, $25 a month. So just a couple of different things to keep in mind here as you evaluate your business needs. Any questions on reports before we jump into referrals? All right. So now I'm going to go into referrals, which is this icon over here on the left. It looks like a little map pin with a person in it. As you are thinking of your business for the next year and you start to set out your business goals and your business plan, start to think about how you can leverage referrals as an income source. So we all have family and friends and past neighbors that live across the country, across the state, that we may not be able to personally assist them with their real estate needs, but as a trusted friend or family member, we can help them find the best agent in their area for their real estate needs. And when you do that, you can get a referral fee because without your introduction to that agent would not have had that piece of business. So it is a great income source, a passive income source for you. Within KW, the referral system here makes it super easy for you to connect with other agents, to send referrals to them and receive referrals. So that way all the payment systems and everything is all connected. So here I'm on my referrals dashboard, which is going to be a quick overview of my total number of referrals up here in the top. And then my referral network down here. So these are all in alphabetical order. So these are people that I've connected with. Most of these agents I have met at family reunion, or they had a need for an agent in the Atlanta market. So they added me here. So you can see I have agents from all over. And if you want to add agents, click on Grow My Network. And it'll take you to a map where you can add and search for agents to add to your referral network. And we'll walk through this in more detail in just a minute. So I'm going to click back to the dashboard. Let's say you want to send a referral to an agent. There's two different ways that you can do that. You can come up here and you can click New Referral. And this window will pop up and then you'll be able to select the agent. So you could search for the agent, or you can find one in the specific city that you need, or you can come to your list of your referral network and I'm like, perfect, here, I want to send someone to Overland Park, Kansas. So I can click on Send Referral to Brad Korn. And one of the great things with Command, if you just start at the top and work your way down and fill in the information, they make it super easy for you. So I'll click on, this is going to be a listing client. So I'll select the seller. And I'm going to request 25% referral. Excuse me, 25%, but you could adjust it if you want to, up to 30, however much you want. Just use a sliding scale here to update. Acceptance deadline, it's going to default to 24 hours, but if you want to give, someone, 36 hours to review the referral to accept it. Based on our initial conversations with our family member in Overland Park, Kansas, I know they're probably going to list their house between 300 and 400. And then you can write a quick message. Mother-in-law looking to sell current home. and downsize. Neighbors have sold between 300K to 400K. Perfect. All right, and then we'll want to add the contact who this referral is. So you could search for your through your database if they've already been added as a contact, or you can create a new contact right here. So let's say I don't have my mother-in-law in here as a database or as a contact, so I can just add the contact information here. Then I can do 1234 Main Street, Overland Park. Well, again, this is Illinois, but we'll just say for today's example, we'll pretend this is Kansas. Desired location, we can search Overland Park, Kansas. Client phone number, I'm just gonna, and client email. I know I'm just putting mine, actually, I'll change this to Gmail. I'm just putting my email in here for today. And then transaction timeline. Let me scroll down. We're looking kind of probably towards the end of October, within the next 2 months. And then I can click add contact and send this referral to Brad in Overland Park, Kansas. Once you send that, I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to actually send it. You can see pending referrals here. It will show that I've sent this referral to Brad, or it'll show me all of my received referrals here. So it's just a way that you can keep track of all your referrals. And you can see our active ones, funded, lost, expired, rejected, and all. So I haven't sent any referrals here through the system, but that is how you do it. They make it super easy so that all that information goes directly to the MCA office, and you don't have to send a ton of paperwork back and forth. It's all done here through command. The next I want to show you is the map. So Mike showed us this a couple months ago before he left, but this is a great way that you can see some referral patterns in the United States. So where are people moving? Where are people coming to Atlanta from? So you can select here and you can come down to referral patterns. And now this is going to show where people from Atlanta are moving. So they're moving to Marietta, Tampa, Denver, Charlotte, Boca Raton. So this would say to me, I need to connect maybe with an agent in Marietta or Tampa, Denver, Charlotte. So I would maybe want to spend some time investigating and researching who are those top agents, those top KW agents in those market centers and in those cities that I could reach out to and say, hey, I would like to connect with you as a referral partner. I have some family and friends, so that would potentially be moving to Charlotte that I think you would be able to help them buy a new home. And then additionally, that would probably set me up as a referral partner for them if they have contacts moving to North Carolina. So this is for people that are leaving Atlanta. Now, if I want to see where people are moving from when they're coming to Atlanta, I can click on this icon here and it'll say referrals received. So we can see that we have a lot of people moving from Tucson, from Scottsdale, from Prescott. So Arizona apparently is a big driver of new residents of Atlanta. Then we have Anchorage, Alaska, then Atlanta to Atlanta, Woodstock to Atlanta, Orlando, Charlotte. So again, this is another way that I would say, okay, I need to spend some time looking up agents in Tucson, Scottsdale, and Prescott, Arizona, and start to connect with some of those agents and say, hey, if you have any clients or family members that are moving from Arizona to Atlanta, I would love to be your referral partner. I'll take great care of them. Here's my business, blah, 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 blah. And this can be a part of your business plan. So that way, just like you would lead generate for contacts, you can start to lead generate for referral partners. So this is another way that you can receive leads for clients moving to Atlanta, or you can get referrals for family friends that are moving outside of the state. Then the last item here is My Network. And this is going to be, oh, sorry, let me go back to the map. And I want to show you My Network here. Sorry, wrong button. So I'm from the drop down, I'm going to select My Network. And it's going to show all of the referral partners that I have across the country. And I can just click in here and, click on their contact information, and it'll take me to their profile. So you can see it's super easy to search to search the map for your current referral partners. Let's say I want to search, Chattanooga. Let's say I have a client that wants to move to Chattanooga. So if I search Chattanooga, it is going to pull up all the agents in the Chattanooga area. Now it's going to randomly sort all 542 agents. What I can do is I can come sort, and I can do total number of closed units. So now I can see here that Mark Height of the Mark Height team has the most number of closed units in Chattanooga. So I may want to look up Mark or Cindy or Jacob and start to look at those agents and those teams to say, okay, hey, I have some family members moving to Chattanooga. Would you be interested in receiving a referral? I know you're a top agent in the city and you know the area well. Can you take care of them? Perfect. So this is how you would search for new referral partners. Any questions about referrals, how to find referrals, how to send referrals? All right. So the last thing I want to show you really quickly today is how to get paid in Command. So this is going to be a really, really, really quick down and dirty overview of opportunities. So that way, at the very least, you can get paid. So when you have a new binding contract, you need to submit those documents for compliance review. So to do that, you need to come to Opportunities, which is the icon of the two hands shaking. And then you'll need to create an opportunity. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that when you create an opportunity, you need to have your contacts already added into the Command system. You're not able to add a contact in the opportunity portion of Command. So I'm going to click Create Opportunity. And we'll just start at the top and fill out the information as we go down. So Market Center, Atlanta, Sandy Springs. If you're on a team, it'll give you the option of selecting your team here. The opportunity type, is it a listing, buyer, landlord, or tenant? So for today, I'm going to select listing. And then owner, so who's the owner of the opportunity? So if you're a solo agent, it will default to yourself. But if you're on a team, it'll give the rainmaker the option to be the owner. And then we'll come to client. So search for your client's name. So I'm going to select Tony, who is my training client, and then co-seller. I'm going to search for Pepper Potts. Perfect. And then opportunity name. So this is a listing, so I know the property address. When you're creating your opportunity name, you want to include the property address as well as the client's last names, so the MCA office can properly connect all of the paperwork and commission checks to the opportunity in Command. So I'll come in here, so I'll type in the property address, 1234 Main Street, dash, and then I'll leave this as Stark / Potts dash listing. So the MCA office knows the exact address of my listing, knows the last name of my clients, and knows that it's a listing versus a buyer. You can add custom tags here. So if you want to add based on price point or parts of town, you can add that in here. We can put in our estimated close date. So we can just let's do estimated close of October 16th. The estimated list price, we'll do $415. Commission rate, I negotiated 3%. Phase, we're at appointment, and we are post-appointment. Actually, you know what? If we're getting paid, we need to click active, and we are negotiating. And I'm going to click create. And now it has created this opportunity for me. I can add in more information here for the property. I can update any of the information here for the general information. And anywhere you see a pencil icon in Command, that lets you know that you can update it. So I can come over here and I can click update, and then I can search 1234 Main Street, and then click save, and it'll pull in all that information there. Now what you're going to want to do is submit your documents for compliance review. So to do that, click on the Documents tab. And then there's a list of documents that you are likely to need for your contract set up right here. So we have for our listing agreement and all the documents that go along with our listing agreement here. So if you haven't already started a transaction, up here in the top right-hand corner, in just a moment, there will be a button that says Start a Transaction. When you click on that, that will connect you to .loop or DocuSign, depending on which platform you have connected to the system and which one you use. And that's where you actually go through and create and send out the GAR forms for signature. But once you have them signed, you need to upload them here. So you can do that in a couple different ways. You can click on Add a File here, and you can browse the files on your desktop. So I'm just going to pull in just a quick PDF here, open, and click Assign. So you can, it says, please reload the page. All right, let me reload. All right. So now I have my listing agreement. I can add my community association disclosure. So I can click Add a File. Now, if it had connected to DocuSign, where it says Source of Documents here, I would be able to select DocuSign as a source, and it would show me all the documents that I have available in DocuSign. So that's how you go through one by one. But you know what? We have a lot of documents that we need to attach here. So we can click on the Attach Multiple Files. And this will pull up a list of all the files that we would need for this listing. And you can drag and drop those files from your computers here and each one of the corresponding document fields. Or up here, if you've connected to DocuSign, you'd have DocuSign as an option, and it would show a list of all the documents available in each one of these boxes here. And then you'd click Attach. Now, if you need to add a document that is not included in this list here, you can click on Add Item, and then you can select the document name. So I'm just going to say Training Doc 9-1. We can select the document type. And this doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect compliance review or anything, but try to select the document type that is most similar to what your document is. So I'll select Agreement, Additional Note, if you need to add anything here, and then you can drag and drop your file here or select from DocuSign. So I'm going to just click Browse, and I'll just add this document, then click Save. And now it has added that training doc right here. Once you've added all of your documents for your listing, so if it's a listing, you'd want to click Submit to MC, and that's submitting it to the Market Center. And that's going to send these documents to Lynn and Alita for compliance review. Once you've gone under contract, you'd come over here on the left-hand side and click Under Contract, and you would upload all of the documents pertaining to that purchase and sale agreement. You'd upload them all here the same way that we just did, and then you'd click Submit to MC. Once you've submitted to MC, you would come over to My KW really quickly. mykw.kw.com, and then you'd come up to Technology, and then you'd come to Green Sheets. And at the moment, we're still submitting green sheets. Some agents are starting to submit on the commissions tab, but it's not fully baked yet. So if you want to, you can still submit a green sheet. And then you can click on here to create a new green sheet. And then you would just fill out all this information throughout the entire, and all the information for the green sheet. Kyle walks through all this process in his Wednesday morning class on contracts and command. So to make sure that you have all the documents, everything's filled in correctly, all the information you submitted to the MCA office is correct as well. So that is how you get paid in command. So make sure you have all of your documents uploaded here and click submit to MC. Any questions you have about submitting contracts to get paid, or SmartPlans, reports, or referrals that we've gone over today, we walked through a lot of information. So let me know what questions you have or anything I can show you again. All right, well, if there aren't any questions, please let me know what questions pop up as you start to play around in command. I recommend spend some time in the system, start to click around on things. You're not going to break anything. And really start to think about your goals for 2021 and add those into the system, because that will help you stay accountable and really achieve those goals for next year. Well, thank you for joining me. I will let you all go. Have a great rest of your day, and I will speak with you all soon. Thank you.